Hello and welcome to episode 69 of the Nourish and Strengthen podcast. Today we're talking about all things holiday season. And I have a top 10 list. You guys know I love my lists. We've got top 10 ways to navigate the holidays while still continuing to see results in your fitness journey and working towards those goals while also not missing out on your favorite things of the holidays, not skipping out on the goodies, not missing out on, just the activities that go on, or not feeling like you have to hold back. Okay, I'm going to teach you in this episode ways to have that balance and how to truly have the best of both worlds. The holidays can be a super crazy time, right? There's always something, right? There's always a party or a dinner out or something involving indulgent food, or maybe it's just stress, right? Not to mention you've got treats being brought straight to your door by well-meaning friends and neighbors that are like, "Hi, here's your goodies that look so delicious," and they're going to tempt you to get off of your program for your fitness goals. So we're going to talk through all of that today. And then I also want to touch on and mention that, holiday season can be very stressful. There are a lot of stressful things that come up that might have to do with your family. Maybe it's your children, maybe it's your extended family, your parents, things like that, that I know can be a burden, especially on us women who have families that we are providing for with partners sometimes, and we want to make things perfect for everyone, and that's a lot. It's a lot. I totally get it. So I'm going to be sharing practical tips with you to enjoy these holiday treats and these situations while still making progress towards your fitness goals. And I got 10. Okay, I got 10. So you guys ready to dive right in? Number one, this one is so important, and that is focusing on consistency over perfection. Okay. I'm going to say this multiple times throughout this podcast, but I want you to remember that the holidays are just single days, right? You've got Halloween already passed, right? You've got Thanksgiving, you've got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Right? Now, I don't want to be insensitive and say, of course, there's nothing going on in between there, because you do. Like I just mentioned, there are so many parties, events, and things that are going on. But if you view the holiday season as a time when you are going to be off track the entire time, the entire next, 6 to 8 weeks, yeah, you might set yourself back, but you will find that consistency throughout the next couple months is going to be so key. And you can allow yourself to have those indulgences on the holidays and on special occasions as well. So the small, consistent actions, guys, getting in those workouts, getting in your steps, prioritizing protein, getting in your water, all of that adds up. And it's kind of like adding deposits into that healthy habits jar, right? If you have an all or nothing perfection attitude, it's so easy to just be like, "Oh, I'm starting in January. Okay, I'm going to start over all then. I'm going to have this all or nothing mindset, and I'm not going to worry about anything until January." Guys, that is when you will find yourself in the place where most Americans are, where you gain 5 to 10 pounds over the months of November and December, and you go into the new year feeling like crap and just feeling like you have completely set yourself back and you have to start over, right? You can avoid that by putting plenty of deposits into those healthy habits jars. So even though it might feel like you're not doing enough, focusing on those small habits can really, really make a big difference. So find some sort of commitment that you can do, that you can be consistent with over the next 2 months, and really dial that in and have it be one of your non-negotiables. Okay. Maybe it is getting in enough protein and allowing yourself some treats here and there. Maybe it's getting your steps in. Find what you want to be consistent with and focus on that. Okay. Number 2, plan ahead for those indulgent meals. This planning ahead is absolutely key, you guys. This is what is going to allow you to enjoy your favorite holiday foods without feeling guilty, without overindulging, without letting those meals spill out into the following days and weeks and, the weekend following the holiday, that kind of thing. So here's what I want you to do. Every single week for the next 2 months, I want you to start, hopefully you're planning your week just for your schedule and stuff like that too, but I want you to look at your week and think, what do I have going on this week? Specifically, that's going to involve food or stress or things like that. Maybe you have a work party on a Friday. Maybe you have a family party on a Sunday and you've got something at your kid's school where there'll be treats on a Tuesday. I want you to look at that and I want you to choose one thing, one event during your week that's going to be a completely untracked meal. Okay. One meal in a week that you don't track and you just have what you want in moderation will not set you back from reaching your fitness goals. Okay. And then for the other events you have going on, you can utilize other strategies. We're going to talk about more strategies for those meals in just a few minutes. But another idea here is calorie cycling. So what you do here is, let's say I didn't do the math on this beforehand, but let's say you have 2,000 calories a day, just for an easy number, right? And so at the end of your week, that is 14,000 calories, right? 2,000 times 7. Yes. And so what you want to do is you want to have your weekly calorie total be the same, but you're going to cycle that. So instead of having 2,000 calories a day, you're going to have maybe 1,700 some days and 2,300 some days. So you can look at the days when you have things going on and you can plan for those days to be higher calorie and the rest of the days to be lower calorie, but still ending with the same calorie total at the end of the week as you would have otherwise. I just used 2,000 because the math was easy in my head. So that might look like 1,500 calories a day for you times 7, maybe 1,600, maybe 1,400, whatever that is for you that you're trying to hit each day. You're going to have your weekly total be the same, but you can cycle it and have higher calories on the days when you have those events. If you're working with one of my coaches, let your coach know. We can totally figure that out for you. Okay. There's also a concept called crowding out. Okay. The crowding out strategy talks about filling your plate with protein and veggies first, and then leaving smaller portions for maybe those carb heavy, fat heavy, or treats that you want to have. But if you have plenty of protein and veggies, you're not going to be as hungry for those treats, but you can still have them and it'll be kind of like forced moderation. Okay. Same thing with staying hydrated during your meal or right before your meal. If you have a big glass of water or two, it's going to naturally affect your hunger a little bit and kind of curb that so you don't eat quite as much of the treats and you feel full and satisfied a little bit easier, right? And just having these mindful eating practices during your holiday meals can help you kind of slow down. So what I want you to do is make sure you're always sitting for your food. Okay. Make sure you're sitting down, eating off of a plate and eating slowly. Okay. Put your fork down between bites. Doing mindful eating practices like this is going to help you tune into your satiety levels and your mindfulness with your food. And it's going to help you overall eat less, but still enjoy the food you're eating, helping you feel more satisfied. Okay. So plan in advance, choose that one important meal that you just don't want to worry about tracking at all. And then use these other mindful strategies for the other meals throughout your week. Okay. Tip number 3 is stay active with your family and friends. So find ways on the holidays and especially around the holidays to stay active. So something that a lot of people do, my family does this, is after a big meal, we go for a walk. So even on Thanksgiving, instead of, hurrying to the kitchen to clean things up, we might go for a long walk first. That's going to help your digestion. And it's just going to help get that overall movement up to kind of balance out a higher calorie intake day. Right? Maybe you can focus on moving more by cleaning up after dinner, after you go on a walk, running errands, holiday shopping. All these things can give you more steps, but just staying active and making sure your step count's high and your overall movement is high. Find ways and reasons to get up out of your chair and move. And if you can do that with your family and friends, even better, right? All right, number 4, set realistic expectations. And don't forget to be kind to yourself, guys. The holidays are a time for enjoyment, not punishment, not thinking, oh, I wish I could have those brownies that my friend brought over, but I can't because I have these fitness goals. Like, no, that feels like a chore and it feels like punishment, right? Setting realistic goals is going to help you kind of remove that pressure from yourself. So that might look like maybe you take a diet break for the month of December. Okay. Maybe it's a time where you're like, you know what? I've actually been going really hard towards my goals all year long. I'm going to focus on just maintaining for the month, and talk this over with your coach. See if it's a good time for you. If that is something that you want to do, maybe it is you want to focus on a little bit slower results because it's worth it to you to have a little bit more flexibility with your nutrition during this time, right? But it's really, really important no matter what you decide to have that self-compassion. Okay. If you go to an event and maybe you didn't stick to the plan you wanted to stick to, you know what? Don't beat yourself up over it, because if you feel guilty and just think, oh, I should have done this. I am no good. I suck at this. I'm the worst, yada, yada. What that's going to do is it's going to have a negative spiral where you're just going to keep eating, keep overindulging, keep skipping your workouts, and then it's going to be much harder to get started again. All right. So instead, I want you to just be like, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Not a big deal. I am starting over tomorrow, or I'm starting over right now with staying on plan and reaching my healthy habits. Okay. So realistic expectations, and just give yourself some grace. All right. Number 5, practice stress management techniques. This is huge. Like I mentioned, oftentimes we have family coming in from out of town. We're hosting parties with family, and that can be stressful. I recognize that it can have a lot of, mixed emotions and just kind of some stressful situations. And that can trigger overeating, poor food choices, skipping workouts, just kind of this, an orneriness, right? Where you just don't feel happy. And really making a special effort to manage this stress is going to go a long, 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 long way. So maybe that looks like taking a few minutes out of your day, multiple times a day, for some mindfulness. Something that I love to do is go in a room by myself, take some deep breaths, lay down, close my eyes, or go for a walk by yourself with no distractions, and close your eyes if you can, and focus on your breath. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, but you're going to focus on 2 things, okay? One is how your breath feels. So you can choose one way to focus. You can focus on maybe how it feels going into your lungs, or how it feels on your nose or your lips when your breath goes in or out. So focus on how your breath feels, and also focus on the sounds that you hear. Okay. So you're just focusing on those 2 senses. What do I hear? I hear the heater running at my house. I hear cars driving by outside. I hear kids playing out downstairs, or whatever it is. So it's kind of that time to clear your mind. And I find that focusing on those 2 senses helps clear my mind and helps kind of step back from maybe all the stress you have going on, the stories you're telling yourself in your head, and just kind of clear that out, even for just a couple minutes. Okay. Journaling can help too. Why are you stressed? What are you stressed about? What's the worst case scenario that could happen in this situation? Oftentimes, thinking through worst case scenarios helps you realize, you know what? It's not that bad, actually. Worst case scenario is someone gets mad at me. Whatever. It's fine. I can handle that, right? And so journaling about these things can really, really help you process and lower your stress levels. And I want to encourage too, setting boundaries with holiday obligations. That can really help avoid overwhelm by saying no more often. You've probably heard the phrase, if it's not a heck yes, then it's a heck no, okay? If you are not thrilled to do something, then it might serve you better to just say no and keep less on your plate, okay? Number 6 is practicing portion control without deprivation. Guys, I am huge on this. You do not have to give up your favorite foods, but being mindful of your portion sizes is really going to help you enjoy those favorite foods you want to enjoy while still seeing progress. So I'm going to give you a handful of ideas here, okay? And take what you want, leave what you want. Totally fine. Take what resonates with you, okay? So you can do like a sample plate. So, like if you're at Costco or something like that, they have samples, right? There's just little bites of all the things, right? So maybe if there's a lot of things you want to eat, maybe take very small portions of several dishes as opposed to filling your plate with larger portions of everything, right? Another idea is telling yourself, okay, I can get what I want, but I'm only going to go through the buffet line or the line of food one time. Another idea is setting a 2-hour limit to your meal. This is really helpful when you have a meal, maybe you're hosting at your house, and it's common for you to just kind of continue to nibble in the treats or in the foods, like all throughout the rest of the day, into the next day, into the weekend. Thanksgiving is a hard one with it being on Thursday in America. It goes into Friday and the weekend. Super easy, right? So if you say, okay, we're eating at 4, I'm going to stop the munching and stop the nibbling at 6. And at 6 o'clock, you're back on track with your protein, your whole foods, all that kind of stuff, right? Another idea is really, really slowing down and focusing on the flavor in your food. Like take your bites and really think about it and say, like, what am I tasting? What is this texture like? That kind of stuff can really help improve your satisfaction. Okay. And then I want to talk through about a hunger and fullness scale too here. So if you think about a rating system on a scale of 0 to 10, okay, 0, 1, and 2 are uncomfortable hunger. Okay. 0 would be like painfully hungry. Okay. Urgent, intense. You might be shaky, lightheaded. Number 1 is ravenous. Maybe you're a little bit hangry, you're irritable, you're anxious. And number 2 is very hungry. You might have like a tummy ache or like this gnawing sensation and like everything looks good, right? That's unpleasant hunger. Comfortable eating range is going to be from a 3 to a 7. So this is everything from I'm hungry to I am full. Okay. So 3 is you're hungry. So your stomach feels empty, you're ready to eat, but you're not like urgent and hangry, right? Number 4 is mild hunger. You're starting to think about food, but you can wait if you have to, but you're like, I need to eat pretty soon. Okay. Number 5 is neutral. You're neither hungry nor you're full. You're just moving about your day, doing your stuff, right? 6 is mild fullness. So you're going to feel satiated and you've had enough for a while, but you're not like stuffed. You have room for a little more, but you're like, nope, I am good right here. And 7 is complete fullness. Your hunger signals are totally gone. You have not much desire to eat at all. That is a great range to stay in, that 3 to 7. And you're going to want to eat when you're more in that 3 and 4, that mild hungry to hungry. You're thinking about food. You're not having that urgency of I could eat whatever is put in front of me, that 3 to 4. Okay. And then you have unpleasant fullness. That's your 8, 9, and 10. So 8 is you're slightly too full. There's mild discomfort. Your stomach feels full. It feels tight, but not so much that you're like, oh, I can't even breathe. I need to lay down. Okay. 9 is you are stuffed. Like you feel discomfort. You need to undo your belt a little notch, like your pants. You need to lie down to kind of process and digest, right? 10 is painfully full. Maybe you feel like you're going to throw up. Maybe your stomach feels very tight, very bloated, right? We want to avoid those extremes, that 0, 1, 2, and that 8, 9, 10. We want to stay in that 3 to 7, where 3 being hungry, your stomach feels empty, you're ready to eat. And 7 is that no hunger signs, you have no desire to eat. Okay, that's where we want to stay. Avoid getting overly hungry where you're just ravenous and you want to eat anything in sight, and avoid getting overly full where you are severely discomfortable. Okay, so that's really with portion control. I want you to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Like, okay, stay between a 3 and a 7, eat before I get ravenous, stop before I get over full. All right. Number 7, let's talk about our workouts. In a time when life is busy and crazy, I want you to plan short, efficient workouts as needed, okay? So you can do things like a shorter strength training session where maybe you focus on bigger muscle groups and you don't do those accessory muscles like your biceps, your triceps, your calves, your abs. Focus on your back, your chest, your shoulders, compound movements on your legs like squats, deadlifts, bridges. Those big 3 exercises that, you can do a lot of varieties with, but those are your big 3 that work kind of your whole lower body. You can do things like supersets. Okay. You can do opposing muscle groups where you do like an upper body movement, then a lower body movement, or a back exercise and a chest exercise. And you do them back to back because you're working different muscles. And then you rest when you're done with both exercises. Okay. So you're going to do like a back exercise, a chest exercise, rest, back, chest, rest, back, chest, rest. That can really help you get a longer workout done in a shorter amount of time. Okay. If you have bands, you can do something quick at a hotel. If you're traveling, that's a great way to do it. But something is better than nothing, guys. And if you don't have time for your full workout, absolutely do supersets, cut it down, have shorter rest periods. That's totally fine. If you're doing 3 or 4 sets of an exercise, cut it down to 2 to shorten the time. But something, especially stimulating that muscle, is going to be so much better than nothing. Okay. Number 8. Enjoy your holiday events guilt-free. Guys, give yourself permission to be present and make memories and enjoy those foods. This time is just as important as your fitness goals. And like I said in the beginning, if you are doing the holidays are just a few days, right? It's just a few days out of the next couple months, okay? So if you are off track I don't encourage you to stay on track on Christmas, for example, on Thanksgiving. Just know that one day is not going to negatively affect you, Okay. So I want you to focus on the social and emotional aspects of your events and of your get togethers. Focus on connecting with your loved ones instead of just the food. Maybe you can help in the kitchen instead of standing over the appetizers, right? Hold a drink of something that you love, a diet soda or something in your hand. That's going to help kind of fill you up because of that carbonation without the calories or without alcohol. Not saying you can't have alcohol, just saying if you want to avoid it, stick to some diet soda. Like I said, one meal, one holiday party, one holiday is not going to ruin your progress. But guys, overthinking it and stressing about it can lead to more emotional eating, which can lead to you throwing in the towel and having that all or nothing mentality. And that can derail your progress. Okay. Number 9, don't skip meals all day to quote unquote save on calories. Okay. Skipping meals, under eating all day in anticipation of eating more later is a sure recipe for overeating and just feeling out of control. Okay. Eating balanced meals throughout the day, especially that include protein, healthy fats, fiber, is going to help actually regulate your hunger so that when you get to the party or event, you don't overindulge. Okay. It's going to help keep your blood sugar and your appetite regulated, helping you make the decisions that you want to make at the party, at the event, or on the holiday. Okay. Another idea is you can try having a protein rich snack before heading into your event. Maybe it's like some turkey roll-ups, maybe it's a protein shake, maybe it is some pulled chicken and some lettuce, something like that, that's protein and veggie focused. It can help you when you go to these parties to not feel quite so hungry, and you've got your protein in. So if things aren't as high protein at the event, you're good. You're good, right? The worst thing you can do, guys, is starving yourself all day and go into that holiday event completely ravenous and starving. Okay. And last thing here, number 10, is I want you to remember the bigger picture. Okay. The holidays, guys, even 2 months, it's just a small portion of our year, right? And like I've said a number of times, the holidays are just a small portion of the next 2 months, right? Maintaining more of a long-term perspective can really help you feel less stressed about these shorter term indulgences, right? Consistency over time is the most important thing. Okay. One meal a week, one holiday, it's not going to throw you off your goals if you are on track and making progress and doing your healthy habits the rest of the year, right? One thing I don't want you to do though is throw in the towel and say, screw it for the next 6 to 8 weeks, because that will set you back. So that's why it's so important to do the small things on a daily basis and have those things you want in moderation. Okay. And also just focus on the things that you truly love, right? If you're at a holiday event, I like to use the example of potatoes at Thanksgiving. I have mashed potatoes all year round. I don't really care about mashed potatoes, but sweet potato casserole is one of my favorite things in the world. And I never make that other times a year. So I am going to have a good sized serving of that sweet potato casserole, but I might skip out on the mashed potatoes. Okay. Because I can have those other times. So focusing on the foods you love, enjoying them, skipping the foods you don't love, and really focusing on that moderation and staying consistent and on track with your healthy habits every other day of the holidays is going to be really, really key for having a holiday season that you feel that fulfills you and satisfies you while still reaching your fitness goals. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. I would love to, get some feedback on this episode, hear what helped you. So reach out to me on social media. Let's chat about it, your goals through the holidays. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you next week.